You just drink fresh raw juice, and you eat only live foods. You'll be running like brand new again. Winter, fall, summer, or spring, your liver has been suffering, and it's time you made amends. Hey, you've got to cleanse. You got to cleanse.
One ring for the enlightened one who we acknowledge within us. A second ring for the truth that we share this weekend. A third ring for the beautiful family who surrounds us, who inspire and encourages us. Thank you for sharing. May this peace exude and grow and inspire you throughout these days and from here on forward forever.
Oh, but where I come from, you'd get well. Oh, my father said, how? He said, fresh foods, live foods, sunshine, exercise, massage, deep breathing. In Switzerland, they put you in a sunroom, even in the wintertime, and Father Knipe had the old fire hoses out, and they'd go up and down your front and up and down your back, getting the circulation going.
So I made it my mission to go home and to make this food taste fantastic. And I knew I could do it because I started when I was there. And Dr. Ann Wigmore would come down at 4 o'clock in the morning, and she would eat some of the goodies that I was making in the food processor. And she told me, you are going to be a beacon of light for my teachings. She knew what was going to happen.
With my first 2 kids, I so did it wrong, and you guys are these young moms, and there's another way. There's a raw food way. And then I went through my home, and I did something called the dump. I've got a chapter in my book called The Dump. I looked around my house and I noticed that everything in my house was toxic. So here I was feeding my family properly and teaching young mothers about how to feed their children properly, but we were using all these toxic products in our home. I went up under my sink and I went in the bathroom cupboard and I went in my garage and I learned about non-toxic products.
And I want to talk just for a minute about how disease starts, because the fundamental element of our bodies, of ourselves, is our cells, right? We are made up of 30 trillion cells. The human body has these ingenious building blocks, and a cell wants only a handful of things.
We have actually been doing a lot of research, and not only on wild foods, but taking the most powerful wild foods we can find, the most powerful herbs, the most powerful superfoods, and now we're in the stage of growing them. You know, one project now more than 2 years old, where it's like now we're getting all that stuff going on in the soil. What is that stuff is what we're going to touch on, and we're going to get onto where it's all going, and then what the whole key of it all is. And that key is that piece I was telling you. That's the thing. I'm going to say it one time. If you miss it, you missed it. You're going to have to ask your neighbor. You can cheat off your neighbor's paper, by the way.
The more heat-treated proteins or exaggerated levels of your own body cells melt down due to acidic condition, which is causing high cellular death rate. As it's all flooding the bloodstream, it's creating a tremendous challenge to your oxygen transport. And you've got to realize that your oxygen transport is greatly dependent. It's the most important issue on life and death.
In the green leaves. So before blooming, the green leaves are the richest source of any nutrition in the world. Ask Bridget Mars. She would tell you, she's herbalist. collect herbs before blooming.
And there is a lot of evolution has happened within the raw food community in that time. And obviously there's still more evolution to go. We're always evolving and growing. And if we're not, we're just completely standing still. One of the hallmarks of a raw foods diet, or one of the reasons, is so you can cleanse and purify yourself.
This is no longer counterculture. This is culture. And unless we develop and adapt this type of a culture, this type of thinking, this type of consciousness worldwide, the world cannot survive. It is not only living food, but living food is, I consider, one of the legs on the table of existence.
Definitely a negligible part of the brain we are operating. So we are wasting away the divine resources that are given to us. We have to see that we activate the human brain. And there lies the answers to all our problems, because our body is governed by the brain.
Whereas with living purely on prana, you have to come into health on all levels, physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. You know, David likes to give our doctors a hard time, but I would like to say that everything that a nutritionist will tell you about a human physical system is absolutely true. It does need nourishment. But what I'd like to say is two issues on that. There are other sources of nourishment is the first one. You can get it from physical food, or you can get it from prana, which you call universal life force or cosmic particles, or I like to term as divine mother love, because I'm a bit of a girl on those levels. I think you've asked the wrong question, because I don't eat. I live on prana. So I wouldn't know. You know, I've been living on prana for 14 years. I don't need physical food. So, you know, I can't even remember the last meal I had. I'm sure David might help you, or someone else can help you.
This is a subject I'm very passionate about, because people do need to know the truth. And the truth is that spring water is our natural water, and nothing, no human consciousness can take what the premier fruit or flower of the entire water organism on the earth is, which is spring water, and take some toxic water and turn it into something drinkable through some filtration system. That's not possible. So the actual water that's naturally filtered through the whole hydrological cycle, the fruit of the water body of the earth, which is the ocean, its fruit, its flower, its pollen is the spring that's in the high mountains.
We, as Jasmine says, the energy is inside of us already. We don't need to continue to imitate that same conditioning. So I would say for a while,